hit this right up on the front of the show and ask you this.
Okay.
But there's a rumor that there's this intimidating toothbrush that's been terrorizing people. And so,
listen, Linda.
Have you been ran out of your home?
Listen.
Have you been ran out of your home because of an electric toothbrush or something?
I really did think I was praying over my family. I was praying that we would not have a bomb go off in our home. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
No,
I don't even know.
Do you want me to tell you guys what happened?
I'm afraid to hear this. I'm afraid.
So it was a Monday morning a week ago, and I sleep really hard on Sunday nights because Sunday's a really, really big day for ministry, for worship leading and stuff. And so, like, I was out, and I was awoken from a dead sleep by a terrible noise. And it sounds
like a Christmas story.
That's what I was thinking.
And what was a clatter?
Listen, it sounded like someone was sawing through my wall, and there was water, like a waterfall. And I called Justin, I put it on speakerphone, and I said, babe, this is not good. Like, something really, really bad has happened. He's like, I'm just now pulling into the plant. And I'm like, it's really bad. And he goes, okay, I'm pulling away from the plant. and he came home, and for 25 minutes, that's how long it takes him. I prayed, and I called him again. I said, do I need to take the kids for safety? I got the dogs out of our room because I thought that my room was going to blow up and we were all going to die. I was really, really scared. And he came home, and he
what was it, Lindsay? What was it?
He opens the shower door, and he said, babe, looks like my toothbrush fell off the ledge and somehow got turned on. Turned the toothbrush off. And we were saved. My hero.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a little bit shocked. So can I speak on behalf of the audience?
Please.
Here's what everybody, y'all feel free to chime in and tell everybody that you're agreeing with me here.
Yes.
So I learned a lot about you already. So here's the question. Okay. You know, there are, on this planet, when something happens, there are a million possibilities.
Yes.
You went straight to the house is going to blow up.
I went straight to the Lord in prayer.
Well, that
for my house.
After your house is going to blow up. I mean, why couldn't it have been that there is a mole who is bore into your house?
Listen, when I was like in when I was in middle school, our water heater exploded.
Mole. It was going to blow up, okay?
Our water heater exploded when I was in middle school.
Well,
in the bathroom right next to my...
Not only do I get a lot out of your sense of humor and just the way, just how kind and open you are, but also just the way you get into things is, for someone like me, it's great to be around because it's shown me a brand new way to be able to live. So I can't possibly say enough good things about you except that I love you.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life. I'm so grateful that God has brought you into my life. As much as you have poured out, I still feel like you are this pool of wisdom that we've yet only had sips of.
The big overarching takeaway for me that I appreciate is you're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article, and you live what you talk about. You don't just say you can do this, you can do that. You actually run and operate and live in that lifestyle business, not just talk about it as a theory.
I'll speak for me for a moment. In my life, oftentimes, I go in and I push that button, and I push it gingerly in the hopes that I can get one of the rings to go up and hit the hook. And whenever it's your turn to talk, you kind of say, Case, move over for a second and take that button and jam it and hit it 19 times to get every ring flying in the air. And that's kind of the feeling that I have whenever you talk. It's like, wait a minute, let's shake this up a little bit. Let's shake the snow globe and see what happens. Like right now, Terry, I am so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things, of which I might have done one prior to you talking, but you got me so jazzed up to go in there and accomplish something, because often we need people like that, with agitators, somebody to come in and agitate things and say, hey, look, you can do a lot more than you're doing. Look at me. And Terry, I've always liked looking at you, and I'm hopeful that I can be more like you going forward. So thank you for everything.
I'm still blown away by your story. It's incredible. And so it's just so inspiring. And so, I mean, I feel like you embody that. Like when I think about you, it's hard to separate you from that incredible story that you have. And so it's such a gift to us to get to just be in the presence of someone who has that story and who has come as far as you have. And with that, the second word was experience, because with that, you just bring so much experience. There's so much value in what you say. Amazing coach. So like just vast experience. I feel like you're able to speak into so many of our lives in so many different situations. And it's always like on point and helpful and thoughtful. And then the third was humble, because I feel like you do all of that with so much humility. Like you don't, I feel like you don't pat yourself on the back a lot, or, say, oh, I'm this great person. It's kind of hidden behind this, oh, I've just got a little comment here for you, filled with all of this value.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid. Your original story of how you built the piano business and how the market of 2007, 2008, that crash, and how you came back and you built something that is what it is today. And yet here you are.
Hey, Terry. Well, I think today has just demoed exactly the brilliance that you share. The humor, it's guaranteed that every time that Terry's got the mic, there's going to be laughter amongst the group. And I'll extend that into honoring your skills as an interviewer and as a podcast, because I had jumped on a few months ago because I hadn't listened to your podcast, and content can draw us in, but the people who lead the conversation and the skill behind that, I was pleasantly surprised and impressed, and I've kept you in my circle because of that. So I think the lens in which you see the world is so amazingly beautiful. I love that you're real. You talk sports, you talk music, you talk the things that come to our heartbeat of being a part of this country. And it draws people in, and I'm one of those individuals. And I also think you're genuinely gentle, sincere, and you're like, a cousin or an uncle that, I just want to hang out with more and more each time. So you light us up, and that's not something easy to do week in and week out, in just the waves of our own lengths and the commitments that we have in our circles. So I am grateful for all that you bring to us and all that you've shared with us, and definitely the laughter as well. So
what's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your heart.
Choose your heart. Boy, I love that. Because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother.
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people, and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea, your zone of fire, and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying, why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us another. Go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
bless your heart.
He thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So that was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Yeah, Terry's like, how am I, you could just I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so the next day, right? The next day he starts sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law. We're gonna go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, you know, then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talk to someone and as he goes and he talks to the manufacturer and he's like, so, you know, where are these things? You know, if I want to get them, how do I sell them? And he doesn't go into the conversation with the idea of, I'm going to figure out how to make this more efficient for myself. Or maybe he does to a degree, but he doesn't make that his outward appearance. He's not desperate. He's desperate, but he doesn't portray desperation. He portrays, as he's talking to the person, he's asking them questions about their business, and they give him the keys to the kingdom. They tell him the whole layout. They tell him exactly how to run his business. Now, in Watergate, did you ever hear, like in the first week after Watergate, Woodward and Bernstein spoke to a Spanish guy down in Mexico, and the joke was, he told us exactly what happened, but we don't speak Spanish, so we lost the story. It turns out that was true. They got the whole thing in the first week, but didn't understand it. Terry got the whole thing in the first week and put it together. He hears, you have warehouses all over the country, so why don't I sell them and then you guys will just deliver them locally? He gets that in an instant. He doesn't think about the problem. He doesn't think they're not going to do it, any of this stuff. when I hear about Terry selling them and he just gets in a truck, my first thought with that is, I know.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com.
Decade of helping others
discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents at TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really, I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started.
You're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article.
Right now, Terry, I'm so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things. You got me so jazzed up.
I'm still blown away by your story.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid.
You're like a cousin or an uncle that I just want to hang out with.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life.
Can't possibly say enough good things about you except it's that I love you.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Thank you, Christopher Roop. What is going on, everybody? Chris, can you believe how many people we've got in this room with us?
You're not going to hear me.
Folks, what started off over 13 years ago with a little card table and an iBook in a walk-in closet in a rental house trying to start a business has culminated into a room full of top-notch entrepreneurs and people who are taking their money business in life to all new levels. And I am just humbled that they have decided to allow me to go along for the ride. So starting to my left with no further ado, you know him as Greenbacks. Gary Greene, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing wonderful here on a Monday night here in the TW3 studio.
Is it as small as you thought it would be?
Man, I thought it was going to be bigger than a Matchbox at least.
At least. No, I tell you what, that's the first thing everybody says when they come. It's like, on TV, it looks a lot bigger. I says, well, how much room do you need to accommodate just a few people in a microphone, right?
Oh, it looks awesome, man, what you've done with the room. So definitely the technology is here.
Well, it's functional and it works, doesn't it? Bobby, Coach Bobby, all the way down there in Georgia.
That's right.
He broke away from a Braves game to come up here and check us out. I guess they don't play until, they're probably playing tomorrow. Right now. Tomorrow. Are they off tonight?
Yeah, I think they're off tonight.
They're off tonight. So how was the drive up on Labor Day weekend from Atlanta?
It was pretty nice. But the one thing I'm really, it's amazing. After all these years of 20 years of back and forth between Charlotte and Atlanta, I think the state flower in South Carolina is that orange cone. It's everywhere.
It is in a lot of places for sure. And you probably have recognized the Carolina drivers. They like to get in the right lane and just cruise. Here in South Carolina, we made it a law that you're supposed to pull and merge over if you're going slower in the left lane, but people don't adhere to that.
Hint, South Carolina.
Hint. And if you heard that meek, mild voice off camera, you'll see him and the pretty lady to his left, my right, in just moments. But off the camera, you can hear him, but you can't see him. Miller Time and Miss Spelling Bee. And we've got a story to share about Miss Spelling Bee riding with Chris Miller in a Tesla a little later in the show. But first, just to let you guys know, we are live and Staley Classic Cars, which I think is Letitia. Is that right? Yeah, Letitia, how are you doing tonight? It's so good to see you. Rebecca, full of mercy and grace. It's great to see you. Larry, my future neighbor. Are you in South Carolina yet? I hope you are. If not, safe travels on your way to the Palmetto State, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. David Robertson, good to see you. Let's see here. Who else do we have on here? Carlos Wiley, what is going on? Good to have Carlos is in the house.
My boy.
That's right. Miller, that's yours. And Charles, good to have you on. Harold, longtime friend up there in the Northeast. I think he's in Pennsylvania, isn't he, Harold? Yeah. So it's good to have you on, Harold, and good to see you. And so everybody, welcome aboard. Your questions, your comments are what's going to drive the conversation tonight. So if you've got questions, you want to know anything, business related or not. We're taking them all. So anything goes. This is TW3 unplugged and unhinged for sure. So
we will not explain to you what happened to Hoffa's body,
but we will try.
We're taking off the handcuffs tonight, folks.
That's right. We kicked the Wilson boys out, but they left me just so someone could work the controls here. So it's pretty funny. Hey, what's up, Caroline? Sweet Caroline. Bum, bum, bum.
Had to do it.
Had to do it. She's on tonight. It's good to have her. We miss you. Hope you're going to be up and see us tomorrow. But if not, we definitely can understand that. And Reagan says, it's so weird to be on the other side of the glass tonight. My job is being replaced. That is so funny. So I'll go round robin here. We'll start with the first question. Let's start with Gary. Gary, what are you going to be teaching on at the conference? What's up, Daniel's son out there in Japan? Yeah, I'm talking to the live chat and asking questions at the same time. So what are you going to be teaching on at the conference tomorrow?
I know, Terry. Multitasking at its best, man. You're doing, like, I think, triple tasking.
Do you see why I mess up on these buttons now? Can you see I'm having to do like 15 things at once? Someone cut me a break.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be training on, get ready, folks. I got a major announcement. It's the secret Gary Greene formula being released here at the conference Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you're not going to be here, you better get in a car and you better drive straight here.
Dude,
okay?
the Colonel Sanders don't even give up his secret sauce. You're telling me you're going to give up your secret sauce?
Well, I might leave a few kernels.
All right, keep a couple secrets. I'm gonna come on now.
Yeah.
We have to buy an additional special ticket for that.
You have to have the golden ticket.
The golden
for
ticket.
this one. The TW3 ticket.
The TW3 ticket. That's right.
No, but I'm going to go by step on different things that I do in business, specifically with a lead that comes in to our system, to our platform. You can take this blueprint and add a lot of this to any other business, essentially. But I'm going to be, going over a lot of content about that there just to, help people, basically there. So, yeah.
That is awesome. So I can't wait for that. It's good to see you, David Robertson. I'm just trying to catch up. Mabel Salazar or Mabel Salazar. Good to have you on tonight. So Coach C down there in Georgia, you're going to be teaching and training, I think, Wednesday, yes. Yeah, Wednesday session. And so what can the folks look forward to hearing from you?
I'm going to be talking about LinkedIn. The special kudos to my wife, because after she got a hold of the schedule and saw that I'm the last person who's speaking that's not named Wilson, and I'm also the last speaker on the second full day. And she just looked at me and said, well, whatever you've got, just rip it up and start over, because it's not good enough.
Come on now. Come on. I put you in there to save the day. What are you talking about?
So, look at this way.
He's the closer.
He's the closer. That's right.
I'm going to close it. I'm going to be talking about LinkedIn. I'm going to be talking about the new LinkedIn. Okay. I've done some trainings on LinkedIn in the past, but over the last 5 to 6 months, LinkedIn has changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I've gotten wind of some of the changes that are coming before the year is over in terms of LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a platform of choice for anybody who's interested in doing B2B business, because your clients are already on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And there's a right way and a wrong way to go about engaging them. And I'm going to be talking through exactly how you engage these people.
Yeah.
So that you can bring them in as clients.
Yeah, and I like what you do, Bobby, with LinkedIn, because anyone that's had LinkedIn and has a LinkedIn account knows that one of the things that's always been frustrating is those little spammers that, just try to connect with you. And as soon as you connect, you instantly get this pitch. And I was like, dude, I don't even know you. And you teach how to do it in a way that's trust-based, rapport building, and earning the right to be able.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. And guys, one of the things for you guys that's coming to the conference you're going to love is because Bobby's going to teach you how to use LinkedIn in a very professional way. And then the next day is when we really do a deep dive into the app. And I was showing the guys here in the studio before we came on. And I think I showed you, I don't know if I did or didn't. I don't know if it's when we were speeding down the highway in a Tesla, but I can't remember when these conversations. Allegedly, we won't mention who the driver was, but
we're in Terry's Tesla.
I'm going to get the ticket for someone else. Allegedly, but there's a new plug-in in the app that basically connects all your social media platforms and pulls it into the app. So then, as you're communicating through the LinkedIn platform, you also have it in your CRM and can automate tons of stuff. It's going to be pretty cool.
You did show that.
Did I show that?
Yes, you did.
I couldn't remember if that was part of the conversation or not. Cool. That is so cool. So let me let's see here. One more question for you guys, and then we'll take a break. And we got some other folks, I think, here in the room we want to put on camera here in a minute. But what are you most looking forward to this year at the conference? What are you looking forward mostly at the conference this year, Gary?
Just all the networking that takes place with all the different entrepreneurs that have that entrepreneur spirit, that's here that you just can't really just run across just anywhere. So that's very valuable and propelling yourself ahead.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of little things that take place that add into that mindset, into that career, into developing that skill and, continuously educating and moving yourself ahead. I would say that jumps out right out in front, there, Terry.
Yeah, don't y'all think, and especially in today's culture and society, as things get a little more, attitudes get a little more a different way, I would say antithetical to entrepreneurialism. It makes people that promote entrepreneurialism and positive thinking and having a culture that's positive, it stands alone. It's even brighter. It seems like as things get darker, those kind of ideas and mindsets get even brighter. So
people are gravitating to that.
It's gravitating to it, and it's refreshing. It is so refreshing to be, and I'm looking forward to it because of what you said. Because it's just so refreshing to be around people, sort of that same mindset that I don't have to settle for where life is trying to pull me or where I've been. I can go in different places because look, there's so and so doing it, there's so and so doing it, and so it's just a great culture to be around. Bobby, what are you looking forward to this year at the conference?
Specifically, I'm looking for nuggets because I have my business plan, but I've got some holes in that business plan, and I want to learn his system. But what I don't want to copy his system. What I want to do is to pull one or two nuggets from that system and add it to mine to make mine stronger.
That's brilliant.
And then I've got Miller time here, to my left. I want to be able to talk to him and find out what he's doing in terms of maybe some of the technology that he's using.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to take a couple of nuggets and I want to add that to the fold as well.
Yeah.
And Miss Spelling Bee will, be checking over the grammar and make sure that I've got everybody's name spelled correctly. Because in my presentation that I did on the golf, she didn't call me and say, "Did you know that you spelled that girl's name wrong twice?"
Twice.
Did he do that?
Yes. Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I had her down as Nellie Corda with a C instead of a K. And there was also another misspelled word there right at the beginning, and it drove me nuts because all I could see is after I saw it come up on the screen, it was like, holy Toledo, I've got a misspelled word there.
That is so funny. Yeah, I tell you what, but you are faithful. Every single presentation I do, every webinar, every mastermind, every podcast, you always say, "Hey, that was great," or "Hey, you missed this, but I knew what you meant," or you're always helping me. I mean, it's like you got my flank, and I really appreciate that.
I got your six.
You got my six, that's for sure. She's always taking care of everyone, here. So it's a wonderful thing. What do you guys? Well, Chris, what are you looking for? And then I'll ask you after Chris. But Chris, what are you looking forward to the most this year at the conference?
Well, I'll tell you what. I have two things to tell you. The first is I'm just humbled to be in this room right now, in this studio with greatness.
Oh, man.
I mean, you guys are superstars. And you guys are like including me for some reason, but I'm enjoying it and I'm not going to say no. The other thing is, if you guys are out there and you're listening right now and you want to know how I got here in this room, I don't know. But what I will tell you is I'm doing the same thing that Bobby just talked about. And so is Greenbacks, and so is Laurie, and so is Terry.
Yeah.
We listen for the nuggets, we learn from each other, and we incorporate that, not to copy it, but to make it our own and add to what we want to do. And that's how you draw success. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about at the conference. So get your butts over here if you haven't got your tickets yet. There's still time to drive all night.
An all-nighter.
All-nighter. Hey, listen, this system was put together back in 2008 because I sat in that chair on a laptop putting things together all night. You know, so I'm telling you, you can do it if you're hungry enough. What are you looking forward to at the conference, Miss Valerie?
Well, in addition to what everybody else said, because I'm looking for those nuggets too.
Yeah.
You know, it says in the Bible that iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And so when you're in a group of entrepreneurs, of brilliant people, or maybe they're not so brilliant, but they've got something.
Well, even the non-brilliant encourage you, right? When you can get up and say, you don't have to be intelligent, and you misspell intelligent.
There you go.
I just served as inspiration.
So everyone has something that everyone else can get. But you know, I'll tell you, in the world that we've kind of, I guess, settled into with the pandemic, and everyone's on you know, webinars, you know, conferences have been done for the last 2 years on, you know, on a webinar and on a Zoom call. And by the way, that's why it's important. What I'm going to say is why it's important for you to attend our Monday night podcast, as well as the Wednesday Wednesday mastermind, is for team building.
Yes.
So that's what I'm looking forward to at the conference, to be live with my team, with my family. And again, remember, iron sharpens iron. So, you know, we're going to be there all together, one big happy family that I love everybody in our team and in our family. And that's kind of, you know, that's my heart. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. It is. You're right. That iron sharpens iron. And just because, you know, there's a ton of lessons you can learn from someone, even if they're weaker in a certain area that you're looking for help in. Just people serve as an example. Sometimes it's just, hey, I don't want to swing the bat that way. So, you know, so it doesn't matter. You can draw value. And that's one of the things I harken back to Miller Time. You know, I honestly believe, and I told this over brisket and pulled pork barbecue and everything else when we was eating before the thing. If you ever want an entrepreneur to build a parachute, all you have to do is give them the raw material and give them a picture or whatever, what it's supposed to look like, and then take him up 30,000 feet in an airplane and push him out with all the material. He will figure out that there'll be a demand put on his creativity, a demand put on his attention, a demand put on his focus, and all of a sudden he'll have a parachute before he, you know, an entrepreneur will. And that's what Miller Time had been. Life had taken him up 30,000 feet, just like you've shared your story. You shared your story of how you worked for someone. That we've all had those moments where life took us up, pushed us out, and it's like, okay, what do I do? And then you're hyper focused, and all of a sudden the good Lord shines. He winks his eyes at you, whatever, brings a little tidbit of information. And it was what I told you was the absolute most simplistic thing in my mind. It really was. But you took it and made $250,000 out of it in 12 months. That's just crazy. But that's a testimony to you more than it is me. That's a testimony of your hunger put a demand on the information that you were looking for.
Well, also to speak on what you're talking about, Terry, is also everybody, there's ups and downs in life. There's no just wonderful life and everything is just going upwards up the mountain
all the time.
Lifetime. I've gone up and down the mountain at least twice in my career. Yeah. I know what it's like to be on top. I know what it's like to be on bottom. Terry said that too, and
me too.
Pretty much
every one of us in here.
Every one of us, know, too. But we take and we learn, from our mistakes, and then we add to our character where we're going.
That's right.
And so the journey's, it's something that you don't replace. You keep that a part as your character.
Absolutely. And I will tell anybody that's listening to us tonight, if you feel like you're going in circles in your career and circles in your life, let me tell you this. There's a distinction. There's a difference between going in circles and going in cycles. If I'm going in circles, that means I haven't learned what I'm supposed to learn. And I just keep repeating the same mistakes. And I keep repeating. Now, if I'm going in cycles, which we have all done, it means, hey, I had this thing happen. I've learned from it. Now I'm going up this mountain. Oh, the same problem has come back around, but this time I know how to handle it. I know how to fix it. And it didn't trip me up like it did before because now I'm on a higher level. So that same mountain, sometimes we see the same problems over and over, but we're on a higher level than the next time we see it. And that's what we want in our lives. We want to go in cycles. We don't want to go in circles. And being around people like in this room is what helps you keep your life going in cycles and not circles.
And then also you have the new app that you just added to the system, which is a game changer.
It's a game changer.
The technology is there, but you don't have to be a tech person to operate it.
That's okay. I mean, how long did it take you? How long did it take you to set up the texting system?
I set up the texting system in a matter of minutes.
How long did it take you to set up the phone system?
Like 2 minutes.
How long did it take you to set up really anything you're using?
I mean, just a couple of minutes, 5 minutes.
So you didn't have to contact the AWS?
No technology, no technical. Get on tech support or send tickets for all the technical stuff is already done behind the scenes. Okay, and then we just have the product where you can. Everything is all in one place.
It's
somebody
bad
can
to the
text
bone.
you from your website to your smartphone with the app. You can send them a text message. You can give them a phone call through this app. It's cutting edge technology, 2021. Big ups for that, Terry, adding that to the system. So,
Bobby, is it a game changer?
It is a game changer. I mean, it's CRM on steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, you take the best of the CRM world and you take the best of the lead generation world and you put them together, and that's what the TW3 Elite package is.
Yeah, it's a game changer, and me and my brother Chris, we've talked about it for years. If we could somehow mitigate that technical component, then TW3 is going to explode.
And there's nothing like this on the market. There's nothing. To have something like this, it'd cost you $500 a month at a contract of minimum 12 months to even have anything close to it.
And it's not going to do what it does.
It's not going to do what it does. Definitely.
So it's just bad to the bone. So I'm going to put the camera on me. Hey, how you guys doing? And I'm going to mute y'all's microphones for a minute. And if y'all play a little musical chairs, we'll get the other ones in so that they can be on camera for just a moment. Because we only got 2 cameras here. And so what you guys don't see at home right now is they're moving around, and Bobby's got his iced tea. It's half and half. If you want to know what Bobby is drinking, he's drinking half sweet, half unsweetened. He's not a true Southerner. That speaks to him coming from Pennsylvania but living in Georgia, so he can't figure out whether to have sweet tea or whether to have unsweetened tea. So we might have to remove his Southern credentials because of that. But
well, the reason I'm drinking
you have to pull that a little closer, Bobby.
The reason I'm drinking half and half is the fact that at my age, I can't afford all those extra empty calories. I mean, real sweet tea, when you drink it, it's like syrup. And the second thing is it pulls the molars out of the back of your teeth. So I've got to thin it out a little.
That's what, Chris, now you guys are going to have to, let me do a little bit of training. They didn't get the training beforehand, so let me help them. I'm going to take the camera off of them for just a second. I'm going to mute you guys' microphone. And so what you want to do, Chris, is you want to pull that mic close to your right shoulder. Yeah, and then you come in a little bit closer, come in, and then right there. And then you want to pull that mic as far into your left shoulder as you can. Yeah. And then turn it, because right there's your camera. And now move it up to, keep going. Move it on. Now move it on in. There you go. Now they didn't get the mic training beforehand. So now I got them on. So sorry about that, guys. Like I said, this is live.
The kind of training you get at TW3.
You get microphone placement training. You get light training. You get it all.
All the support you can have.
All the support. You're in ticket headquarters right here at TW3. And now that Greenbacks is off the camera, he is he's quenching his thirst.
I went to Tennessee.
He went to Tennessee to get a little podcast lubricant. So anyway, I got you guys on camera. Do we have any questions in the chat that we did not answer? Have you guys caught any? I want to make sure.
Well, we know Larry Dodson is checked in at the hotel.
Larry Dodson is checked. Larry has checked in at the hotel. That is awesome
tonight, buddy.
All right.
Drinks are on you.
And Caroline says TW3 app is bad. Bad to the bone. That's right. So is Caroline coming to the conference? I hope we're going to get to see her.
I hope so.
All right. I hope we get to see her because I want to be able to sing that song again. So have a
question.
Yeah. What's the question?
David Robertson says, when do we get the app?
David, if you're coming to, is he coming to the conference? If you're going to be at the conference, you're going to get it tomorrow. You will have it tomorrow. Is he your guy?
Yeah.
Is he coming to the conference? You know.
I don't think he's able to make it.
Okay. If not, it's going to be rolled out probably sometime in November. To everyone else is what we're banking on. But everybody that comes to the conference gets the beta version now to get to play with and everything.
Everybody at the conference.
Everyone gets it. So Miller time.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to be teaching on at the conference?
Well, that depends. Should I tell them or should I just make sure they get here?
Well, you should. Don't tell them what you're. Well, tell them what you're teaching on, but don't give them the content. So they got to come to the conference to get the content.
Yeah, you got to come to conference. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
Get in the car. What are you waiting on? Why are you even listening to this podcast right now?
Yeah. You ain't got time to listen to us. Get in the car. Come on.
It starts tomorrow. Do you people know that? I'm going to be teaching how to use the tools and the training that we have in this amazing system that you developed and put together for us to build your next 6-figure plus income.
Now, Chris, how can you say that with any credibility?
Because I've done it for the last 3 years, man. Here I am, $500,000 later.
That's amazing.
Ching.
Ching, ching. I mean, honestly, you came to the conference 2 years ago and took what we gave you and literally $250,000 next. What am I don't want to speak out of turn.
$500,000 I made and change
since. Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I wouldn't have had it. That money wouldn't be in my bank accounts. It wouldn't be in my wallets. I wouldn't have it at all if I hadn't come to the conference.
Yeah.
If I didn't come to the conference, and not only that, if I didn't upgrade to the elite level just before the conference, so that I could be in the room when you changed my life with few simple little words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes the difference. So why are you people listening to this? Get in the car.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. It is amazing. And I was talking to Gary as we were riding around, and you were scaring Miss Spelling Bee in the Tesla.
Okay. Allegedly?
Yeah. I didn't say how fast I told no one you was going 125. I never said that.
Allegedly.
Okay, allegedly. I would never
Mr.
tell.
Miller, why were you speeding?
Yeah, Mr. Miller.
I was in a Tesla.
I was trying to get to the conference. But I
can only imagine what I'm going to earn next year because of this.
Yeah. But it was hilarious. I think I heard Miss Spelling Bee speaking in tongues a little bit, which she never spelled it out.
I do believe you're going to have some reupholstering.
She's back there. Should have bought Honda. Not a Tesla. Not a Tesla.
Some reupholstering will need to be done in that rear seat.
Yeah, I think she's got some Tesla in her.
There's some gripping happening there.
Well, I had to check on her, make sure her heart was still beating. You know?
I look back and she goes,
why did I get in this car?
Slow this thing. So
I wasn't that.
No, you weren't. I was empathizing because I could see sheer fear on your face. So, Laurie, what are you going to be training on at the conference?
Well, I'm going to be training on dominating your inbox.
Nice.
It's about copywriting, copywriting 20 years ago, it has changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
And because copywriting has changed, it's changed because of how people communicate with each other and how consumers engage.
Yeah.
And so that means that copywriting has had to change because of that. And it's really a lot easier today than it was 20 years ago.
Wow.
And, so I'm going to break it down to be just simple. There's some simple 5 steps that you can use, apply immediately, that will help you. And this is going to help with email marketing, webinars, sales letters. It could even help in your sales presentations if you take these principles and apply them to whatever interaction, whatever relationship you're having with your customer. These are going to work for you.
Yeah.
It's just thinking about how Chris talked about this the other day with this conscious and subconscious mind, that we have to appeal to that subconscious.
Right.
And then we have to be able to because that's the heart part. I want that. I want to buy that. And then we have to transition to the conscious mind, the logical mind, where a buying decision is made.
Yeah.
So I'm going to walk you through how to do that with people.
I love it.
And it does not involve driving at 125 miles an hour.
I am so there. If I have
how much battery did you use on that 125 miles?
I think he burned up 30% of that Tesla battery, allegedly, by that test drive. Laurie, you're talking, it just epiphany. Your superpower is words. That it is. I mean, you're such a detailed, focused person on the words and the word, of course, but words and how they use and how they move people and everything else. This business, the reason we're in here is because of an idea that was put to words, and the words create action. It's powerful. So I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to that training, because I know you're going to do a great job, because you put priorities in the right place, and that is the words we use and the motives behind them and the heart behind them.
That's right.
Because words, just smooth words and just words to manipulate, is not what we're talking about. We're talking about more words to convey and to show our heart, which is we care and we want to help you, and we're going to do it even if we have to tell you, hey, you need to get out of your own way here a little bit. You can do it, because why? You're worth more. So I love it. That's awesome. Looking forward to that. What are you? We've already asked that. So let me ask you, this is a great question to Chris. Chris, what would you tell people coming to the conference? What would you tell those coming to get the most out of the conference? How can I get the most out of the conference, Miller Time?
Show up and pay attention, to everything, not just partially. Glue yourself to a pen and pad and pay attention to every little detail. Because, the thing that changed my life wasn't even part of a class. It was an off-the-cuff statement, side group, just people chatting, and lit me on a whole new level, man.
Yeah.
And so, absolutely.
Come hungry.
Change it all.
Come hungry. Come looking for solutions. Pay attention.
Soak it in.
Soak it in.
And then, the most important key of all of it, I really ought to sell a ticket to this information, but I'm going to give it to you for one.
Oh, man. Well, you are being benevolent.
The most important thing, and you might want to write this down, folks, take action.
Oh.
Once you get that information, you've got to act on it.
You telling me I got to not just hear the word, but do something about it?
Got to take that action.
Now you're preaching. Come on.
Too many people just want to make sure everything's right before they get started. And what happens is eventually you don't start at all. You got to take that action. That one's free, but everything else you got to pay for.
So D-Ram has a great question that came through the chat, and he says, has there ever been thought to selling tickets for an online conference? And yes, actually last year D-Ram was an online conference. But here's the thing. We've gone back and forth. This year we intentionally decided not to, and I'll tell you why. 2020 has been nothing but people doing Zoom calls and webinars. There's no novelty in that. And so we wanted to put a little more pressure on people, and just being honest, to get there in person, because it's that in person, because what we do, we're putting on a conference every Wednesday night in the mastermind training, except it's just me, because that's the problem with doing online training. It's that one-dimensional. So Chris Roop, someone you may or may not know, my brother that's off camera here, he coordinates the conferences for us and helps us. We talked about this, and we had an opportunity to keep the media package in on this one, but we decided, no, let's scale it back. There'll be some, because we're not charging for people that bought tickets in 2019 and 2020 for the 2020 conference. We're not charging them for the 2021 conference. So there's a lot of people coming that, got to come to our online conference last year. It's coming back. And so that's cool. That's what we said we'd do. But we needed to be all truthful. We needed to also save a little bit of money. So we just sort of stripped away that streaming part, because we said, hey, the real value here, especially after 2020, is getting face-to-face, knee to knee. Hey, Bobby, how are you doing this? Hey, Gary, what are you saying on the phone? Hey, Laurie, how do you coach people and get them, to that next level like you do? Chris, how can you start selling TW3 in a week, sell 2 elite packages? Like, how are you doing that? What did you do? What did you say? How did you mark? You can't get that online. You just can't. It's these private conversations. Like Chris was saying. So we've thought about it, and we have done some of it, but this year we intentionally didn't, and that's the why. And we're not trying to be difficult or anything like that. It was just we wanted people there because we feel like that's where we can give you the most value. So,
but the classes are awesome. I can't wait for Bobby's class. I mean, Bobby is a LinkedIn master.
Yeah.
I mean, they like have whole courses on what's in that dude's brain over there.
Yeah. That's right.
He's willing to just give it out to us.
And just give it out. Just to sow into our community.
I can't wait for it. Step-by-step, in-depth training about LinkedIn.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I've got a good friend of mine. I've mentioned him on the podcast a couple times. Y'all hear his intro and the pre-roll. The attorney friend of mine up in New York, Neil O'Reilly. He sent me a text that night that you did the LinkedIn training on the podcast. He says, dude, I'm going back and changing my whole LinkedIn profile now. So, I mean, and that speaks to the questionnaire. I mean, we've got a lot of online content already, but you're not going to be able to meet Bobby and sit down with Bobby. And Bobby, you said this, and when you said, what did you mean by that? I mean, I saw you do this, but I don't get what you can't have that dialogue, in a webinar podcast form, and that's why it's so cool.
That's why face-to-face is so important.
Yeah.
Because, as it's about building that relationship.
Yeah.
It's a 3-dimensional relationship, not a 2-dimensional relationship like it is over a screen.
Yeah.
Because, one of the things that I'll be doing with, I can't remember the guy's name, but I told him I would actually sit down with him and go through his LinkedIn profile and actually show him where his mistakes are. Because like on things like LinkedIn, if you do it wrong, you're not showing up in any searches. Your content is not getting out to your audience, and you're shooting yourself in your foot.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to have that happen.
Right. And so that's why it's the people that are going to be at the conference. You're going to have value bombs dropped on you, left and right. Now, Gary, I'll start with you, and then we'll go around Robin here. But why should someone seriously consider TW3 to start or grow their business? I mean, what is it? I mean, there's tons of business opportunities out there. I mean, if you're entrepreneurial minded, you could go and sell insurance, sell real estate, sell some pill through electric potions, I like to say, as a sort of a side throw. But why TW3? What's about this business that separates it maybe from other businesses? And why should people seriously consider it?
Well, because we have everything under one roof. Okay, you can buy a lot of our product line individually on the internet, but guess what? You're buying that product and you're going at it alone. You might not never get it done.
Right.
Okay, so there you go. You're going to be moving in reverse and sitting back on your heels. So here we have all the training built around business and marketing in regards to creating a lead and doing the marketing to create the lead and capture the lead and do the follow-up with the lead. Okay, you have to be up to date with the technology here in 2021. with your business, because at the end of the day, if you don't have leads for your business, I don't care what you're selling, you're not going to be in business. Okay. So that's the lifeblood, is to have a consistent flow of leads coming in every day, every week. Okay. Using our tools and training and technology. Now, we do have a lot of technology. We don't throw it at you all at one time. We give you just the real basic minimal stuff to start.
That's right.
Okay. To where we can take somebody, Terry, that has, they can just send an email back and forth. They can copy and paste an email back and forth. We can take somebody like that and help them and give them this product to sell, where they basically take calls, read a script, make money.
That's
rinse, wash, repeat. Real simple, straightforward.
Keep doing that till you're sick of making money.
Okay. And they're making $750 to $1,750 per sale per client, with spending $28 potentially, to get yourself to do that. Folks, $28 to get yourself in a business where you could be making potentially thousands per day, per week, is a no-brainer. Okay?
$28 investment.
So, Terry, I could go on and on and talk all night long, but those are the things that jump right out in front.
Cool, cool. Laurie.
What was the question?
I was
just entranced by Gary. I'm like, I want to buy things.
Or it's all like, that's GaryGreene1.com.
That's GaryGreene1.com if you'd like to invest $28 right now.
Hold on.
She was so entranced. I go to her and she's like,
sign me up.
Laurie, right now on the podcast, you're on it. Right? You're not at home watching it. So you're actually creating. No, I'm kidding. So
I was just being.
I know you are. I'm picking with you. You're like my sister. I feel like I can just pick. Why? There's tons of things that people can do. What's the value here in your mind? I mean,
that's just the thing. It doesn't. If you need a product or service to sell, we have it. If you're in another business, and like Gary was saying, it doesn't matter what business you're in, you still need leads, but you also need that means and mechanism to follow up. Because here's the thing, if you're any kind of business and you invest in advertising, that's like a cost of lead acquisition or customer acquisition cost. But if you don't have a way to communicate with that customer, follow up, keep up, or cross sell or future sell,
right?
Now we're suddenly talking about the lifetime value of that customer. Well, guess what? We got an app that'll do just that.
Isn't that amazing?
And so that's the thing. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're in, what kind of background you're in. You don't have to sell TW3. You can. But otherwise, look at Chris. Look at Chris here.
Chris, you have been in several businesses. You do several things. You started selling TW3. 2 questions. Why be a member of TW3? What sets it apart as just a solutions provider? Number 1. Number 2, why be in business and actually sell TW3 versus other businesses? Because if an entrepreneur is out there, then they got opportunity because they smell it, they see it. So what is it that's about this opportunity that makes it different?
Well, as you know, only for the last 3 weeks, roughly, I've been selling TW3. Before that, I was only using it for my own business. So it was the kind of thing where I got involved because I needed a system that could, 1, teach me what I didn't know, 2, help me get it so that I could put it into practice. But more than anything, give me a support structure that I didn't have to help me build it. And I think the biggest asset that we have here at TW3, the reason why I'm still here 3 years later, coming to all the meetings, right, is the group.
Yeah.
We have such an amazing group of people. Look at us in this room right now. It's just amazing, right? And then you look at the chat and all of these chats going on. And the same people show up in these chats all the time on a regular basis. I see them. And they always help out. Everybody's helping everybody. Everybody's got suggestions. Everybody's willing to answer. Everybody's willing to help. You don't see that other places. This group, that's what keeps people here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're an amazing group of entrepreneurs, and it just doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Dave Robertson had a great question here, and that's a very smart question. He says TW3 is a business tool, so tax deductible, I believe, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And consult your tax accountant of how you want to, what's the best advantageous, because TW3 is a marketing tool. It is a training product, so it's an education investment. When you invest in TW3, because it's providing you marketing benefits, it's providing you a continuing educational training and coaching. So that's a professional. There's multiple layers of TW3 that's going to help you tax wise. I'll tell you, when I go on vacation and when I do things, I take pictures of everything I'm doing. I put it on my social media. I say the laptop lifestyle and working for yourself and entrepreneurialism is the way to be. I'm up here in Maine today. I'm down here in Boston today. I'm over here. I'm over there. And guess what I'm doing with those trips, Bobby?
I hope you're deducting them.
Those are now marketing and business expenses.
That they are.
So I'm telling you, entrepreneurialism, as Greenback said, is alive and well.
Definitely.
And it is the way to go.
And then also you can write off a portion of your mortgage or your rent for your house, and out of 14 days out of the month, I think it's called the agricultural tax law.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can look that up there and get a ton of write off there from your living expenses.
Yeah, so there is tons and tons and tons, and consult your tax attorney and accountant. Everything here is said for entertainment purposes only.
I don't know where it is.
I'm doing the whole Dave Ramsey caveat right now.
I don't know where it is, but somewhere in my suit is my logo.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can write off my suit.
That's advertising, baby. It's advertising.
That's my uniform.
That's right. So it's great to have on. And Caroline, we're praying for your whole household that they'll be healed. We know this pandemic and COVID has affected a ton of people, and we're sorry that you won't be able to be with us because of that. But know that our thoughts and prayers are with you, because we do empathize. Funny man Chris Roop, which is not on a camera or a mic, he just came from a comedy show, and several people were affected, and 3 died from it. So it's a serious thing, and so we pray for those who are affected by it. And so wish you could be with us, but understand for sure. And I think we've gotten down to all of the questions, and I look forward to seeing Michael Stevens tomorrow. He's going to be there out there. And okay, he's more than okay. He's coming from okay, and he's coming to greatness.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
He's making the journey.
He's making the journey, and so we look forward to.
I was at Dunkin' Donuts the other morning, and I ordered a coffee. And this dude opens up the window with a coffee, and he thrusts it at me, and he says, "Greatness in a cup." And I went, absolutely.
I'll take 2. Tom from Chi-Town, the other Tom from Chi-Town, Tom Planowski. I wish you could be with us, but glad that you're with us here in spirit. So glad to have you on with us tonight. Rebecca's great to have you on with us. Rebecca! What's up, TW3 family? And so I'm just making sure I'm talking to everyone that's been on the chat. It's been a great time. Can you guys believe that you can make a living doing this? Well, of course you can. You are. But it just don't seem fair, does it?
Hey Terry, most of the time I'm at the baseball field.
We'll have our masterminds, and he's out there and talking to Gary. And he said, "Hold on a second, my son's up to bat right now."
He's loading up in the box.
He's loading up in the box. Oh, that was outside, guys. I'll be with you in a second. So anyway, everyone come to the conference. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. For you guys that can't make it, we wish you could, but we understand. And it's going to be a great time. This will be, mark it, this will be the best conference TW3 has ever had because of people like you and like people that's in the room with me. Till next time, we will see you later.
Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com.
Get a free sample copy of the book You Are Worth More by going to TerryWilson3.com now.
If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com.